those curtains. They started feeling the pressure. The youngsters are from Pretoria. See that man, I think in the end was a Dipolito. Now that was what happened a few moments ago. We're in the here and now as today's teams in this morning's exhibition match. I mean, you can see there's some big names here, big game players, the likes of Amanda Kamini, Nompumelelo Nyandeni, Nyandeni for short, Linda Mukhalo. I mean, I'm talking about people who do better at an international level. Nice little touch from the organizers to keep it international. In fact, they brought up the big guns. The likes of Bonke Mashilo for TUT, for instance. She recently made her Banyana introduction, as well as Jabulilo Mazibuko, who's making a comeback from injury. You see there shots of Grace Mokhachane. You see some of the players are going to be doing duty here today. Of course, TUT donning the traditional red colors, while JVW, team owned by Janine van Beek, is not part of proceedings in terms from an on-field perspective, is donning the black, and by the looks of it, are to be skippered by the well-versed, the well-traveled, the well-respected Buminyandeni. Bit of the dignitaries going through the formalities with the players before we get off to the main event. Now it's going to be an interesting one out. Man who's seen quite a bit of TUT is my fellow co-commentator, Kininda. We had the pleasure of doing some of the varsity women's games, and we got to see some of the players, and the likes of Letacho Matiba, the pacey Letacho Matiba, Bunke Mashila as well. Was it good exhibition as well on TUT. That's the starting lineup between Stixis Monachwe and Komoto Mashilwane at left back. Amanda Molefe, signed from TUT Ladies, crossfield rivals. Partners Janit Mohale in defense. Well, for JVW, look at that midfield of Mukhalo Jameni Nyandeni. Experience, guile, quality is what comes to mind. Yolunda Tawe as well, the Banyana goal minder, is also going to be part of proceedings as teams just to ensure they get a photo up. Big smiles, ladies, big smiles. Well, just to get you in very quickly before we get kickoff of TUT, we mentioned we had the pleasure of seeing them in some of their games. I don't know what sort of team you expect here today. Strong looking lineup for today's exhibition match.
Well, it looks like they just brought pretty much what they had during the Varsity Cup. Some of the players are here, some have completed, like Lebogang is not a part of the TUT team because she's just joined Mamelodi Sundowns ladies team as well. But you can see Buntle Mashilo is still here, and you can, if you look at the up front, Grace Mokhachane is a new face for Team TUT. I think it's from the Northwest Mafikeng, actually. She's just joined TUT.
Her, yep.
Yes, and remember number 15 from TUT, Sekhomoto Mashilwane. She's playing left back today, but she's more of a right wing. So the coach is actually exploring the players, and the keeper obviously is a new face for TUT. So they've brought in a mixture of good old players and new players.
I mean, look at the likes of Letacho Matiba, who's joining the number 5 shirt during the varsity competition for the ladies. She was playing predominantly as a right winger, absolutely terrorized fullbacks. Shot for her running. Here we go, here we go. It's on, I tell you, it is on. Out of the spotlight and into the microscope. The finest in women football. Likes of Amanda Kamina, our co-colleague, today has swapped the mic for her boots. Of course, you can catch on Super Sport, your World of Champions, and giving her much respected perspective on all things football, alongside the likes of Siyankosi. Now Nyanteni, she started off. I wonder, this being an exhibition match, Mo, how much skill are we going to see? Angelique Ferreira there with an error in touch. I'm hoping to see a bit of Tamai, a bit of Mchigacho, as my one colleague would say, a bit of Kutlukaka.
Shugel. Boitumelo Mpotsane. There's one thing I can tell you, this game is very interesting. Both sides are very experienced. They've played together before. They know what they're good at, both of them. So we're definitely looking into a thrilling game that will actually give us a nice taste of women flair, women that are strong when it comes to football, women that are always playing together. That is TUT and obviously the Janine van Wyk United. So we're looking forward to a good game. The player centre-back Machoro, she's been with TUT for as long as I can remember, and she's been very consistent with his play and with her academics as well. You'll pardon me when I keep on saying his, but you know, we just came from a male game, so we shifted to a female game. I'll play with the his and has for now.
Football is all-encompassing, and it's a nice little touch from the organisers to give us all sorts of dynamics. We've had teams from India, a team from India should I say. We've had a team from Moscow. Now we've even had a team from Belgium, from Bruges, Club Brugge. Now we've got the ladies, the local flair. As we see the likes of Nicola Irwin was in the shot there. Now in the midfield of the park, that's where it's won and lost as the Angolan Indiran Jubiluka does well to pinch the ball as they look to move it forward. JVW through Gabriela Salgado. Now early tester for the TUT goalkeeper Munahwe. Munahwe should I rather say. In the midfield now, the fielder Jane gives it over to Sibati. Well stopped by Nicola Irwin though. Nyandeni looks to poke it through to the striker Alburuku. Apologies to her and her family if I keep butchering her surname. It is a hard one.
I blame the international teams that came to South Africa to play. Now we are saying Monangwe, Monahwe. You're used to Julio Cesar, Juapero,
Depolito.
Yes, I don't blame you, my friend.
Now the ladies, JBW come knocking. Sepati has to clear lines. It looked like a dangerous looking cross it. But Salgado, Gabriela Salgado, for a nice little back heel now. Amanda Kamini, the Banyana starlet. I think a problem there was she never looked up. I think she was so concerned about keeping the ball in that by the time she got to it, she wasn't able to bring it back. In fact, this was Amanda Kamini, I beg your pardon, there was not Kamini earlier on. In fact, it was this young lady, Linda Mutalo. Apologies to her. Loses out, does Salgado. Kamini away, her errant touch though. Now Sibati and Kotu get on the board. Oh, good, powerful play there from Tana Bryce Joss.
Well, so far teams have not actually completed 3 or 4 touches, but you can see they've got the touches, they've got the play. They just need to maybe, I think there's a little bit of fear from each other because they may have met in the Absa League. So a little bit of fear or might be experiencing it. But as the first half progresses, I know one of the two sides will probably look into dominating the game, maybe reaching the final third and just converting their chances as early as possible. But both teams seem to have very strong character when it comes to their centre backs. So we're looking forward to seeing a very nice, intense game between these two teams.
Yeah, indeed. Good quality teams, as I mentioned. TUT are the reigning varsity women champions, and they did though in Imperial Star really en route to the final. I think they went unbeaten for majority, even though the qualifiers escaped there from the ladies in black from Albulukura. Leaves it for Joss, who clips it in for post. Ball comes in, first goal of the game. There was a Gabriela Salgado with a beautiful weighted header. Give props, so give credit to the young lady. Tyler Bree just clipped in a lovely ball. That was a gimme, that was finish me.
Now, look at the cross. Nicely whipped into the far post with the left foot. And Salgado was right there. She just redirected the ball, a strong header into the back of the net. That's a very good team, and she spotted her right on time. So the defense of TUT, especially the left-hand side, she was very late to cover actually. That's why Salgado was able to just jump and hit the ball and hit the back of the net.
Yeah, great goal. And you mentioned that far side for TUT, it being its left side. I think they're struggling a bit because a few times Salgado has been able to go through, as well as a bit earlier, Linda Motlalo had an opportunity. So there were warning signs in the end, created by Joss, finished by Salgado. And I was mentioning about the quality of these two teams on Shami. Mentioned about the TUT's the dominance of the women's game at varsity level. I think they've been crowned 3 times. Yep. And you look at JVW, well, they became the first team during the record-breaking 2016 season where they beat Mamelodi Sundowns, Palace Super Falcons, and TUT Ladies for the very first time since its inception, and went on to win the Gauteng Sasol League after defeating TUT Ladies 6-0. The provincial playoff final. Shot coming in for Tsawe. Safe as houses for the Banyana goal minder. Confirmation of the score.
That's a very good composed keeper right there. So the shot was taken, she just took 2 steps and then she grabbed the ball.
Good from Chigacho from Mashilo. She looks to clip it in far post. They do well to keep it in. Shot comes in. Oh, they hit that shaves up the outside of the bar. That was a lovely shot from Refila Jane, young lady who joined TUT. Some time back, a nice little looking shot there.
Good first touch. She connected, she laced the ball at the moment it came to her. She did not want to complicate things, trap the ball and just push it forward. It was a good decision. It just hit the upright. It was a good one.
Here we go, Refilo Jane, who recently joined from crosstown rivals Mamelodi Sundowns Ladies. It's been part of the Banyana squad for some time now. I think she's been a regular since a few years ago. Also traveled with the team, or rather once trained with Everton some time back as well. So well traveled young lady. Now Dlamini using her strength, and that does it so well to just extract a foul there from her opponent. I think that was Chabulile Mazibuko. It's number 4. In fact, there was a Rachel Sibati. There's a Monangwe comes out. Now the goal scorer Salgado looking to create an angle for herself. In the end though, she's forced to throw a hand of apology though. She looks like it's gonna be the danger player, the major key for JVW Ladies. Now Madiba, move it over to Jane. Rachel Sibati upsuit. Keep possession as they recycle it well to the ladies in red. There was a shot come cross, not sure. Salgado now on defensive duty, releases Dlamini with a nice looking pass. Dlamini looks to lay it over. Good power shown by the Angolian Indira Albuquerque. Still going is the Angolian, but well marshaled in the end by Komutsa Mashilwani. fact, by the looks of it, it looked like it was Amanda Molefe, in fact, who got the business done there. Bit of confusion because according to the team sheet, she's donning the number 14 shirt. Here's Molefe there. I'm sure the Salgado searched out what the problem was with that one, Mo.
Well, I think the stepping was a bit of a challenge for her. That's why you saw she was just slipping and falling.
Ferreira loses out, gives an opportunity for Mashila to make a run, but could not be found by Sibati. Salgado quickly closed down by Mashilwani. They give it over to the well-traveled Amanda Dlamini, the experienced Dlamini. That's what experience gets you. She cuts it back. What a save from the keeper. But Joss in the right place at the right time. She created the first one. She took the second. That was all Amanda Dlamini's hard work. Clever little cutback to spare a bit of sympathy for a goalkeeper Monangwe, because she made a good save with the right foot, but in so doing unwittingly put in the path of Tyler Bree Ross. Couldn't have missed from that position.
No, she couldn't have missed. You saw how Linda Mutalo actually took the shot and the keeper redirected it off the goalpost, but she was just right there on time to just tap it into the back of the net. I think the defense of TUT is allowing them to play more in their 18 area than to just push forward and try and force them to play in the center, maybe not further than them getting into their 18 area, because they seem to be dominating them too much when it gets to the final third.
That was confirmation of your score. First goal was Salgado, second was Tyler Bree Joss, who's looking to whip in a delicious looking ball. Can they keep it in? Then Salgado, though, ball was just slightly overcooked. And it's all been JVW. They've been efficient in using the experience of the likes of Khameni to battle in the midfield. Nyandeni has gone under the radar. We haven't even mentioned her too many times. Well, Mukala has also provided the legs and movement, but I think I've been most impressed by the number 8. There she was putting a defensive pressure on Tyler Brijos, as well as Gabriela Salgado, opening goal scorer, the opposite number 9. Well, Grace Mukhakane has barely got a sniff, really. The TUT striker. Kamini, look at that again, anticipation from the lady from Harding, KZN. Now the pace of Indira. Loses out as the Angolian, but still battling away is Linda Muthalu, the 18-year-old from Brownflay. There was a bit of spice.
Sugar.
You
You asked me earlier on if we're going to see skills. Now they coming out. I told you, halfway into this game, that's when you'll get to see them. They were just testing each other, trying to get a feel of what is going on from the opposition team, and now you can see them.
Oh, Khameni has been impressive. Her movement, her off the ball movement is so good. Her cross was also looking to be put behind there, but oh, nice little turn, but didn't work out as Linda Mutalo ensures that her attacker does not turn her inside out. Now Ferreira gives it to her. Beg your pardon, there was a Rosanzima. It is an exhibition game after all, Mo. Am I being too greedy?
No, you're not. Okay. We could be sensing Future Champs female version very soon.
You speak about Future Champs female version. Here's a story for you. Refilo Jane is the ambassador of this particular tournament, having been part of it since its inception, I think in the mid-2000s or so. As a result, was able to travel due to being part of the tournament on ambassadorial role into England. A bit of a culture sharing, a bit of football knowledge sharing as well. Future Champs stay winning on and off the pitch.
Well, that's good inclusion. I mean, that's diversity. I mean, We need female participation all the time, so this is good for them.
Now Mashila, the recent Bafana debutant, her cutback unwittingly put in the back of the net by Rosan Zima. Yolula Twan had no chance. You can see the disappointment. I think the Banyana goal stopper, they're having words with a fullback. Oh, went with the wrong foot. Why not go with your left?
Very, very pacey, Buntle Mashilo. She knows how to take them down. She runs them down and then she gets to the box. She whips in that hard and low. And Rosan Zima, she just needed, like you indicated, she needed to use her left foot to send it back where it come from than to try and kick it with her right foot. Yet she's in motion running, trying to protect the goalpost.
And that was the first time we saw Buntle Mashilo really stretching her legs and being able to go at the sides of this JVW defense arm under Jamene. Wow, the movement of football IQ, you can see it's there, Mo. She always seems to have a picture in her head of what's coming up next. It's nice to see that Tyler Bree-Josse, who's impacted slightly in the last few minutes. She was getting all the ball on the side as she tells her fellow player, and a man is quickly on your back, that being Linda Mukhale, 18-year-old who previously played for the under-20s as well. 18-year-old from Brandfleet.
Well, she's been very impressive. Her left foot seems to be very strong on the left-hand side. She runs and then tries and whipping across the furthest post.
I can tell you that this game, if you're wondering, is a 20-minute half or halves. We're already 16 minutes, almost 17 into the first 20. There's the way to deliver. We go far post. That instance though, Angelique Ferreira couldn't get enough dip. Couldn't get the dip in time. She whips it in. I think she was aiming for the far post. She had two players. She had Indira. I think Salgado was in the mix as well.
Nicely whipped in. Unlucky for her that it went to the furthest outside the goal post actually. She just needed to put more power maybe so that the ball can actually not lose momentum in the flight, so that it does not go outside and just goes into the goal post. Force a save from the keeper.
Now, bit of interplay. Sibati makes a decent run, but she's ignored, and in the end, perhaps there were better options out there. Keeper Yolula Tsawe was in fact playing against the old team. She used to be on the books of TUT Ladies. It's a nice little rivalry, I guess, between her and the former teammates.
It's a reunion.
Yep, it's a reunion of some sort. She can though boast that you guys haven't beat me yet. There was a no goal, that doesn't count. Now, the Taco Matiba has been quiet really. I spoke about her pace and her ability to run with the ball at her feet at pace. We haven't at all seen it really. She's been more preoccupied by marking Tyler Bree-Josse, and more so because Joss has been getting change out of her. She's been very cleverly putting in money in the bank on this near side, ensuring that her team profits. Oh, a bit of a collision between the two teammates, between Buntle Mashilo as well as Grace Makhakhane.
Well, Grace wanted to come closer to Buntle Mashilo when she needs to run off the ball and give Buntle Mashilo more options than for her to come collect the ball. You know Buntle Mashilo is a very pacey winger. She will always try and get the ball and whip it into the middle of the park or into the 18 area.
Oh, lovely little shimmy from her. Mukhale, she continues the pace, just finds her. The pace of the 18-year-old from Brandfleet. Two for company, decides to check back, looks to curl up. Could have been a wicked bounce there. And now did well though to get everything behind it, ensure that she's not embarrassed. Good play by Linda Mukhalo. Skipped the ball ever so well, continued the run, skinned her opponent.
She played a very nice dummy run. She regrouped as well. She paced herself until she won the ball again to try and score. I mean, that's a very good player. They've got a team right there. You've got a player, very young, and very energetic. So that's good.
Yeah, you can see she's got the legs of an 18-year-old. Her stamina, she's probably been one of the most vibrant, the most busy of bodies in terms of her players in black and white. Now, a chance for Refula Jane to get a team level as we hit the 20-minute mark. And with that, the brass band comes alive. I think probably just got a few energy drinks in the system, but they've been quiet throughout this game. As the referee calls the ladies in after a good first 20 minutes. The first half that was, truth be told, dominated by JVW. TUT have flickered on and off, but have not been able to really turn it on. That lady has definitely turned it on. Linda Mukhand as well as Tyler Breed. Joss for Coach Tebogo Mokoa is going to have to just change things up a bit. That's confirmation of your score. Started by Salgado, Joss with a second, and on goal from Nzima. Gave TUT a bit of parity, 2-1 at half time.
What an interesting first 20 minutes that we've seen in the exhibition match between JVW as well as Tshwane University of Pretoria, and of course being the ladies team. It's 2-1 thanks to 2 goals from Jaws as well as Solgado, and a defensive error from Rosa Nzima saw her scoring an own goal there in favor of TUT. Next up though, we're going to be taking a look at the first half analysis as well as the next 20 minutes.
And welcome back to Nike Center for this exhibition match between the current varsity women's champions TUT up against the Sasso League women's champions JVW. I can tell you it's the latter that have turned on the style, and through the interplay of Tyler Bridges, who's tormented this left-hand side, absolutely put it on a play for her teammate Gabriela Salgado to get to the opener. Amanda Kamini as well, she's been pulling the strings ever so impressively from the middle of the park. And now is ensuing block from that shot, unwittingly put it into the path of a very grateful Joss. Well, Bontle Mashilo to cut it back, and it do happen. Rosanzima, you heard her scream of anguish. They're saying, oh, she realized what she had done. Bit of kicker at the post as well, and there was to at least put TUT, give them a bit of something to work on the second half. JVW have created double the amount of opportunities than their opponents, with much more possession due to the domination in midfield from Mutalo, Dlamini, Nyandeni. The right-hand side working ever so well. Well, for TUT as well on the right wing, Mashilo, Sebati. Well, for JVW, it's all, you know, Tyler Bridges is ensuring that she's providing the ammunition to Salgado and Indira Albukure. That was Virtu. Fortunately, got beat on route trying to get to the final. Nice little moment there between Ross and a senior Kamini. Nice to see there that I call a veteran in inverted commas. She is only 28 years old. Seems like she's been around forever. Nice to see that she's making the youngsters feel at home. There's Gabriela Salgado got the first goal. Rosanzima, another veteran of this team. Got a star-studded team, really. Angelique Ferreira as well. I can tell you, we're just waiting for the TUT ladies to make their way back on the pitch, because the opposition have already positioned themselves. Amanda Kamini asking herself where her opponents did we frighten them away. Oh, there they are, finally. That's better late than never, I guess. I can tell you in the meantime, there's a sub that's been readied for JVW. I wish I could. In fact, it's Onati Mapena, no relation to Caesar Mapena, I promise. She replaces Erin Hertz, the defender, as Mapena takes a defensive role there for a JVW. Speaking of defense, I think they'll just want to keep it tight for the remainder of this game. They don't have to do the running. They are leading after all, and did so, should be told, with a bit of swagger and style. He bossed it. Now, Dlamini. Touch just took her slightly away. Nyande, and we've barely mentioned her, really. I think she's been doing damage off the board rather than on it. Now, Jane. Move it over to Mayat. Now, they look to battle away, but Bontle Mashilo loses out. She's Bontle Mashilo recently got her Banyana call up. I say recent very loosely because it's part of the structures since last year. Coach Vera Powers team there, who interestingly was saying remember watching her in the Olympics. Post-match after, I think South Africa had lost that particular matchup. Memory serves me correctly. Just the criticizing or having a little go at the South African football bosses, saying their lack of support. Almost they feel as if ties their hands a bit, because there's only so much they can do. Because some of the opponents, some of the women footballers all around the world are playing in high-class, top competitive leagues. Something, she said, perhaps South Africa needs to improve in terms of structures from youth level all the way to senior level.
I can attest to that. They need to improve from the youth level to the senior level. It's very important to start it when they're very young and just groom it and let it grow slowly but slowly until we get a full structured competitive female tournament or a league.
I remember also having words with the TUT's head coach for the ladies, that being our colleague Simpuye Zulu, mentioning the fact that it's quite tough to get the ladies to a certain level, because they get them at around 18, 19 across, comes in from Madiba, but disappointing. They get them too late, she says. By the time they are able to work with them, the former Banyana skipper says they can't teach them the basics at that level. You should already know it. So it's a tough old balancing act for all concerned in the women's arena.
Which is true, Tamba. If you look at a person that is ages of 10, 11, 12, you know, they listen and they adapt to certain criteria. When you're 18, you tend not to actually listen a lot. You just want things to be done. And when you're taught a certain technique, you are reluctant, or it's very slow for you to actually adapt to it. You'd rather just let go and do something else. So while your mind is not occupied by so many things, that's when they need to start the programs for these young female athletes.
Now, Puminyandeni once applied her trade in Russia, of all places, more for WFC Rosayanka, 29-year-old midfielder. Seems like as well she's been around forever, Puminyandeni. Now, Joss is looking to provide a bit of a class. On that far side, she's done so well, but on that instance, she lost start. Nalina Mukhale, impressive. Mukhalo puts it in for Salgado. Just was stretching for that in the end. Otherwise, there was a 3-1 to JVW. Great run there from Linda Mukhalo again. 18-year-old is causing havoc. Look at that pass outside of the foot.
A good distraction from Sekhumoto. Had she not ran behind and just try and obstruct her as early as possible, she could have found ground, she could have stood her ground and just kicked the ball into the back of the net. This was a good one from Sekhumoto. She did quite very well, but don't take away the runs from Sagado. She does not stop. She wants to crack the net.
Turn from Dlamini gets taken on. Was from one veteran to another, from Nyandeni to Dlamini. As I mentioned, her awareness of what's around her is absolutely amazing to see. Young lady from Harding, KZN, represented by Nyana, of course, at the 2012 and 2016 Olympic Games, a woman of much experience and a much respected figure in South African football. Now Ferreira looks like she's a designated free kick taker. She whips it in, looking for Indira and Sagado. Nyandeni. Ferreira loses out, gives an opportunity to Mashilo. Her first touch though evades her. Bit of loose play from TUT, haven't been able to get the passes going. Dlamini, cool, calm, collected, has her head up all the time. Fortunately, Rosanzima couldn't add to that approach play. Ndira cuts her opponent, gets a shot, does Ndira, looks to put it on the head of Joss, but well defended in the end. Now they still got I was about to say they still got possession. Dlamini and her teammate just get it wrong. Here's Ndika Advokuku, the lady from Angola. In the meantime, there's a sub for JVW. A bit sad to see Tyler Dross getting the hook, because she's provided some more spark in this game. It's nice to see, really. As Manyapoa comes on. Antonia Manyapoa. Another sub in the meantime as well for TUT. You can tell you Palisa. Makhabai just entered the fray. So a saba apiece for both coaches. About 27 odd minutes up on the clock now, 7 minutes into the second half. Again, JVW have had all the better chances. They've made all the running. The likes of Rafila Jane have had to come deep and be more focused on defense rather than what they do best in terms of attack from an attacking perspective. Now, the pace of Makabai, freshness, looking to put Ferreira and Mapena under pressure. Speaking of Mapena, there he's trying to track back and she's momentarily stalled. A little clip there, I think, that was from Nyandeni. Taking one for the team, I guess.
It was just a late tackle. Not that harsh. Not a harsh one, but it was just late.
Now, Rafila Jane, former Mamelodi Sundowns ladies player, unmarked. Should have done better there. The substitute Makhabai could have even taken, I think, the ball down on the chest and tried to control it and place a shot. It was a bit rushed. As Samkelesiwe is about to enter the fray for Indira, the Angolian. Samkelesiwe Sihade. He's a youngster. One striker for another striker. Now, that far side, Sebati looks to put it on her left foot. Makabai, though, fortuitously falls to her feet as Mabena is forced to put a bit of cover defense there, Mo.
Well, TUT seems to be reaching the final third very early this time around. I think they're bringing the game to JVW as compared to earlier on. They were coming very late. Now every 2 minutes you see them in the final third.
Good, powerful punch there from Tawe. Now back at it again, Tawe. Oh, good defensive block from Nzima, who made up for her earlier mistake. These TUT are putting the trigger and putting the keeper in defense to work. Large parts of this game, it's been them who've been having to defend and repel all comers. A bit of rear guard action this time around for JVW. Now, Rafila Jane seems to be the team's designated set-piece taker. That's why that was a good delivery. As Mashilwani is fouled.
Well, Amanda Dlamini was beating this. He just chose to push her on the chairs and like, hey, you are winner.
Showing she is human after all. Yep. Thus far, she's put a superhuman performance in. Call her Superwoman. Meantime, Wintle Mashila has ran her race. She's about to be replaced by her teammate Mabato Dire. Just waiting for the sub. I don't know what the hold up is, but there she is, finally just jogging off. There's a Mashilo. Enters the fray. Mabato Dire. Seems to going to be occupying the right side for TUT. Nonetheless, Jane to deliver. Refila Jane whips it deep. Hits the inside of the post. Tawet was beaten. That was a lovely deal. I don't know if she meant to do that. It almost floated in at the back stick there, Mo.
Nicely whipped in. The crossbar again. But it was nicely whipped in. A little bit of more pressure behind the ball. We could have seen something different. It could have hit the crossbar and hit the ground before the line.
Salgado giving it over to Dlamini. Salgado looks to put Zima in. It's a crucial tackle. But Mashilwani. Now, the young lady, Mukalo. The new entrant. Sihade battling away, but loses out in the end. There's that chance we spoke about from Refila Jane. That's a nice In the meantime, a sub about to also take place for TUT. They're coming thick and fast now. About to come on is Katleho Quinana. But first, before her, Babalo Lepele enters the fray. And Quinana does finally join us off screen. There's her teammate makes her way off. They go far post now to the Taco Madiba, who's forayed much more adventurously in the second half than she did in the first. Oh, Linda Mutalo, you can tell she really has an appetite for this particular game. She's been everywhere, just buzzing, defensively working as well as being on point when it comes to turning defense into attack. Little neat chest there, but quickly snuffled out. Salgado, well, in fact there was Nicole Irwin.
She's been exceptionally well. Number 10 centre back Nicole Ivan. She's been exceptionally well, pulling her weight all the time, trying to defend as early as possible.
Oh, chance now for TUT. It looked like an attempted chip, perhaps the wrong type of finish. That was for Mahabai. She's made a difference since coming on. Lovely pass to sneak her in. Oh, there's a bit of a toe poke, in fact.
Good run,
Yep,
off
good
the
run.
ball. She just needed not to actually poke the ball with her toes. Pick a spot. The keeper is already committed. She will be late because you are not even 2 meters away from her. You know, you can just simply pick a spot from the far post or the near post. She had so much room to actually just tap it than to poke it. If you know
Tap it,
what I mean.
unfortunately, she couldn't. There's a confirmation of Quinana's yellow card. But yeah, she had that golden chance to get the ladies off TUT. Back on par with the JVW. Would have been good for it as well. I think since the exclusion of Tyler Bree-Joss on that far side, I think JVW have lost a bit of attacking impetus because her combination play with Linda Mutalo's hard running. That the referee just said the ball there, Mo. Now we're seeing it all.
He's got it.
He's got a bit of game there.
Some skills, yeah. Remember, there's another game happening on the other side. So he couldn't stop the game that is actually flowing. It favors the other side. Now you need to stop it.
Oh, speaking about flowing, Salgado is feeling it. Gabriela Salgado's finish ends up underneath the keeper. As I was about to say, she probably fluffed her lines and, oh, with a nice little dab to finish it off. I think the keeper there, Anangwan, will be quite disappointed with herself.
Babalo
Oh.
Lipele. she needed to just poke the ball, kick it away, don't try and hold it. You know Salgado is very dangerous, but the keeper right there, poor decision making, slowly diving for the ball. Actually, she just needed to, if you can't reach for the ball with your hands, just use your feet and kick it away. This was a poor goalkeeping from the TUT goalkeeper. Unlucky for Babalo Lipele, she was indecisive of what to do with the ball, so she could not know what to do until Salgado took the ball and went to just find the back of the net. But what the keeper did there is totally unacceptable.
Meantime, 2 subs for TUT with not long to go. Mopana, the number 3, as well as the young lady donning the number 10, Liza Mokwena, who's just entered the fray. I can tell you, Mopana has taken up a left back position. I don't know if I can locate Mokwena. Try and work out exactly where she's playing. She's playing just in front of her. Mopana, the young lady who the both just came on. Oh, bit of Chigacho there, but you're welcome to the game. But in course,
I
can tell you the subs are coming thick and fast now, Mo. It's hard to keep up with. Salgado out. In is Nokwazi. Nomiya.
Well, in this exhibition game, it's not really a league game. The coach cannot restrict with the subs, but she can utilize all the subs that she has. Just give everybody the trial run. It's a friendly game, but remember, there's a pride and dignity of whichever party you're coming from represented here, so they need to protect that as well.
I think that's confirmation of the subs. I think I'm going to have words with Coach Sierra Pico after the game. So thank you very much for that commentary nightmare. Sub after sub after sub. Shots a lot, mate.
Another sub is about to happen.
Oh my gosh. It's really coming thick and fast. I don't mind. It's exciting times, really. And it's the final day of future champs. And steps up Bonke Mashilo. I beg your pardon, that's not Bonke, that's Sandisiwe Nohai. I told you, it's getting hard to keep up with these names. Nohai in. Already into the thick of the action. Not too long to go now, Mo. I think we got just under 2 minutes remaining for this game. We've had 4 goals. Got a bit of quality, I think. Munangwe, the keeper, when she looks back at this game, I think will be disappointed with the last goal that she conceded a bit. Other than that, though, the first was a good finish from Salgado. Now Nzima looks to get rid of Mokwena, but Mokwena sticks to her like a bad stain on a white shirt. Makabai, she's impressed me, she's coming on. Always so positive, and in fact, there was Letaho Madiba.
JVW are now just controlling the game, waiting for it to end. They had a good run. They scored all their chances, they've made enough subs, so they just need to just wrap it up now.
Yeah, now please, that's enough with the subs now. I think we've had about 9 of them in the space of 2 minutes to keep up. The last to enter the phrase Nohayi.
Can't have enough. Coach needs to make more subs.
I mentioned I'm gonna have words with the coach after this. Oh, here we go. Please don't tell me it's another one. No, that's the amount of optional timer. That's gonna be added 2 minutes, I can tell you. 2 minutes for TUT Ladies to find 2 goals, highly unlikely given on the balance of play that the current Sasso League champions have showed why they're champions.
Late tackle right there.
Yeah, a late tackle. That was Rosa Nzima. She's done it all. Got a yellow, got a non-goal, bit of it's Amaya Shibobu as well in there.
Everything aggressive.
Yep, everything. Question at home, and she gets home. How did you play? Well, I did everything.
I dribbled. I got a yellow card. I scored an own goal.
Got it, Amaya.
These are the wheelchair boys. It's a school. They are also brought into this game.
Oh, nice.
So
Nice little touch.
Gauteng future champs. You'll not so long have the physically handicapped future champs. You know, it's a build-up. for the youth. So we're looking forward to the broader spectrum of this Gauteng Future Champs, the youth involvement, the schools involvement. It's a Saturday, they're wearing a uniform. Interesting.
It's called dedication, my friend. After school is not after school. Few seconds away now from the end of this exhibition game between the current Varsity Cup Ladies champions, that being Tshwane University of Technology on back in my day, take your time, and JVW. As I see Mabena asked me my age. It's top secret, my friend. And the referee calls it quits between this exhibition match. TUT Ladies couldn't handle the heat of JVW. As the ladies came under the microscope and into the spotlight. And you know what, JVW were good for their win. They were just very wow. Hope you caught my little play on words there, JVW. Anyway. As we see some of the players are just having words. But now we mentioned the keeper for TUT. On a forgetful day, that young lady came in a bit later. There was some Kelusila Sihate. Couldn't get on the score sheet, unfortunately, though. In the end, though, it's the Sasso Women League champions. Too good on the day for the varsity. Women's champions, JVW 3, TUT 1 at full time. As we look at some of the talking points of this game, Tyler Bridges looks like a young lady with quite a big future ahead of her. Clipped it, far post. We're able to get in like a thief in the night unnoticed. In fact, I think there was Nicole Irwin. Not so guarded, they do look alike, yeah. I can spot properly there. Nonetheless, nicely cushioned header. Couldn't have missed from that position. Amanda Dlamini showed her class the whole game. Another young lady, Linda Mukhale, look out for that name. Mukhale onto the boot of Munawe. And Tyler Bridges said, I'm the most composed person in the box. Look at this. It's the keeper's foot. Easy tap in the end for Joss. Joy for Joss. Now, bit of pace shown by Bunke Mashilo. Not too many times she got in those kind of areas, and unwittingly, Rosan Zima could hear that anguish of disappointment. She takes out her frustrations on the post. It was 2-1 at this point. Don't know why she did not try to go with her left foot. But it was to get better for the team in black, as Salgado, as she'd been doing the whole game, Gabriela Salgado tormenting the defense of a TUT in a bit of a moomish moment for keeper Manangwe. Instead of jumping at the ball, she jumped over it. So she'll not be pretty happy with that one. There you go. Fortunate. Nonetheless, was to make it 3. And with that, the final nail in the coffin for the TUT Ladies. On the balance of play, they were good for it. Even though the game was much tighter in terms of a chance creation perspective, they ensured that they monopolized or controlled possession through Dlamini Nyandeni Mukhalo. On the right-hand side, it was Buntle Mashilo's pace and Sebati as well who looked to combine, but essentially is where it was won and lost for me.
What an enticing exhibition match that we saw between TUT as well as JVW F.C. But that's how it all ends here, 3-1 being the score. I'm now joined by the coach of JVW, which is Coach Dylan Miguel. Coach, thank you so much for your time. Let's just start off by summing up that 40 minutes. How was it for you?
It was definitely a tale of two halves. I think first half we dominated, our shape was really good, and tactically we were really disciplined, which is always good to see, you know, in pre-season. Second half I felt we were a bit, I don't know, we switched off a bit and TUT came back strong, but we kept our discipline. was very unhappy with the goal we conceded. I thought it was really soft. We didn't deserve to concede in the first half. But it was a good game, and just thankful for the opportunity. Thank you to future champs and Gauteng Sports and Recreation.
Now, of course, talking about the future champions, what do you think tournaments of this nature aid the growth of women football in South Africa?
I think it's massive. I think luckily we made it to the finals of the national playoffs, and we were on TV, and it did so much for our players. Even now, seeing them coming to a game now when they're on TV again, so composed. And I think it's so important that we promote women's football, you know, especially in 2017 now. It's time that more light is shown, because the passion and enthusiasm for women's football is huge. These girls are so dedicated and they deserve this chance.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Coach Dylan McGale of JVW, who's talking about the game and also talking about the growth of women football. I'm now joined by Coach Deborah Makai of TUT. Coach, thank you so much for your time. Let's first get your summary of that 40 minutes.
I still feel it was a short period of time, but nevertheless it was a good game. I enjoyed the game and the platform that we were given. I think it's a good initiative from the future champ organizers, and thank you for that.
Now, Coach, you're coaching a university side. There's always a lot of talk about footballers and education, or lack thereof. What do you make of the merge between education and sport?
I think education is very key. It's very important that our players do go to school and study, because especially when it comes to the interviews and after football, because football is a very short career. Most of our players, they go AWOL or they go nowhere. So it's very important that they go to school, because after that, then they can make something of themselves.
Now, Future Champ tournament is all about international development. Why do tournaments of this nature aid the growth of football in South Africa?
I believe they're doing a good, great in football for our players, because, I mean, what happens in most cases, you only play locally, and especially when you play against teams from abroad, you always struggle. So if you can have more tournaments of this nature, our players will grow and will attract more players from overseas to come play this side. Then our football will grow, and then we have better national team at the end of the day.
Thank you so much for your time, Coach.
It's a pleasure.
Coach Deborah Mokayo of Tshwane University of Technology, talking about the game that was, of course, the exhibition match. I'm now joined by Refilo Jane, who is our Future Champs ambassador. And this time today, we were not just talking about to you as an ambassador, but being a footballer and seeing you on the field. How was it?
It was a good feeling to be participating in the Future Champs. We know that since it has started, we haven't seen ladies playing in the tournament. Hopefully this is the beginning of new things to come.
New things to come. What exactly are you telling us, Jay?
We're hoping to see more teams participating in the Future Champs. Yes, we're hoping to see more female teams participating, because we know that it's a good initiative, especially for development in South Africa, and also to see them empowering women's football also.
Thank you so much, Jay.
Thank you.
That is Refilwe Jane, who is also a Banyana player. But now I will be joined by a familiar face, does not need an introduction. Amanda, I'm sure you know where to stand, what to do, all the things that need to happen. But this time it was nice to see you without the jacket and the S, but as a player.
Yeah, no, it's good to trade places once in a while. It's good to come back and play, but also, I mean, good exposure from SuperSport, the World of Champions coming out to support women's football as well as a curtain raiser to the future champs. So really excited about the opportunity to play here.
Now, a lot of people were excited to see that women team being the exhibition match here ahead of the final. What do you make of the growth of women football in South Africa so far?
Well, it's steady. It's at a pace where we wouldn't want it to be, but we're hoping that it will grow faster. But I think such games and such exposure from SuperSport, I think, will catch the attention of corporates, but also a fan base for women's football. So I think the more we come out here and play as much as we can and just promote the game, be passionate about the game when we play, we need to take those opportunities.
Okay, thank you so much. It's international break, so I guess I'll catch you when PSL resumes.
Yeah, of course, without a doubt. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Amanda Dlamini, who is, of course, our SuperSport analyst. But now I will be joined by Krista Gampe, who is, of course, our future coach for 2016-17, who is the outgoing future coach. Krista, thank you so much for joining us. Let's talk about future coach. What exactly is that?
A future coach is a potential coach. You're given a platform of growing yourself as a coach and being able to actually give back at the same time, not only to the players but to other coaches. And I had the privilege of going to Spain to learn how they do things, and not only how they play football but how they learn, especially the administration part of things. So I had to come back and give back.
Now, what does such a platform, the Future Champions Tournament, do to women football in South Africa?
It's a great platform because we need to put women's football out there. People need to know about women playing football because there are still communities that don't even support women's football, you know, and every girl child should know that there's a possibility that you can play football on a higher level. So this is actually good exposure, but exposure also comes with hard work. As women, we need to take ownership of our sport and plow back instead of going like we want people to give us handovers all the time.
Now, before I let you go, can I hear from you? I mean, we just saw TUT playing. What role do you think universities play in terms of growing sport in South Africa?
They play a huge role, and I don't think universities are aware of it because you are given an opportunity of being a student and being an athlete at the same time. And women's football currently, you can't make a career out of it. So it is actually important that as women we study, and the more we are educated, the more we can educate others. So it's not only on the football pitch, also outside football, we need to also educate ourselves as women.
Thank you so much, Krista.
Thank you.
That is Krista Gampe, who is the future coach for 2016. Now, all that action being the Future Champions Tournament for the final day. Now, that is how we all wrap up the game that just happened. Join us again at 11:20 when all the festivities continue on your World of Champions. Now, it will be a South African battle when Bidvest Wits and Mamelodi Sundowns go head-to-head for that third place payoff. And, of course, it is the big final when Nigerian Professional Football League All-Stars take on Atletico Madrid. So join us on your World of Champions.